In this video, I'm going to show you how to design these dishes for your dollhouse using Tinkercad. And once you have those, you can 3D print as many as you want. Here we go. Here you see I have a plate, a bowl, and a little tapered coffee cup. So we're going to work on that today. The first thing I always do is I go to the snap grid because everything is so small, and I just turn it off just so I can move stuff around easily. Okay, so let's start with the bowl. So you could see I already made one. It's just a little basic bowl for now. Okay, so I'm going to go to shape generators. I'm going to click on all, and you see these funky shapes, but the one we're looking for is like way down. Is that it? It's this one. I'm going to start. It's called the parabolic cone because it has this flat top, but we're going to turn it upside down. So the top radius is this part here. The bottom radius obviously is on the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and flip it so it looks like a bowl, but just remember now the top radius will be the bottom. You get the idea. So I'm going to flip it like that. And then I'm going to try to make it look more bowl shaped. So the top radius is now the bottom, right? So I'm going to just drag that out. Maybe like that. I'm going to lower the height. Oh, and you see it came off of the build plate. And you can always do this. See how it says it's this far ahead? I'm just going to set it to 0. Boop, and that puts it down at the bottom. Okay, so that kind of looks like a good bowl. Now, I think I did this as like a 6-inch bowl. So in 1/12 scale, 6 inches would be a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to, actually I'm just going to drag it until so it goes down to a 1/2 inch. There you go. I'll just enter 1/2 inch. And this little guy right here will fit the view to the selected item. So just boop, centers it back. So now this looks like a good bowl. I'm going to copy this. I usually do Command C, paste it, Command V. And then what I'm going to do is make this a hole. Okay, so we're going to remove a hole from this object, but we need to make it a little smaller. I'm just going to move this stuff over. So I'm just going to drag it to make it just a little bit smaller so it fits inside. And I need to make it a little taller so that the hole goes. Actually, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to raise it up because we don't want to remove the bottom part of the bowl. So I'm just going to raise it up like that. You can see now it'll leave a little bottom. And there you go. You can always fine tune this, especially when you go to 3D print it. It might, if your walls are too thin, it might not print. So you have to maybe go back and make the walls thicker. And what I just did is I centered this. I selected both. I hit this align tool and I just centered. So now I think that looks pretty good. If you want, since this is a smaller size now, sometimes I'll just adjust the size of the top. Well, I don't know if that did anything, but okay. So now you're going to select them both and group them, and it will remove the hole. My computer's taking a little while. There we go. Okay, so now we have a bowl. Okay, so now we are going to work on the plate. You can see it's made of like 3 parts. There's this bottom, the rim, and a little indentation taken out. So let's work on that. I'm going to go and get the cylinder again. I have it in my favorites. There's the cylinder. I'm going to drag this all the way to make it smooth. And I want to make a 9-inch plate. So in 1/12 scale, that would be like 0.8 of an inch by 0.8. And I want it to be 1 inch tall overall. So that's actually 0.08. Okay, so this would be like the size of the whole entire plate. So I am going to copy and paste it. And I'm going to make this the bottom part. And I'm going to slide the bottom like to that, so it looks like a bottom of a plate. And then this will be the rim. Oh, I don't have my snap grid off. Okay. This will be the rim, and I'm gonna make it like, I don't know, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Maybe like that. And I'm gonna bring it up. Oops. I'm going to bring it up so they line up at the top and they're centered. Kind of looks like that. Now, what we want to do is grab that parabolic cone again, and this is going to make that indentation. So I need to make it a lot smaller, and I'm going to just stick it over here and kind of see where I want it, how big I want the rim of the plate to be. So maybe like something like that. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and flip it just because it's easier for me to work with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna make it like, you know, that kind of indentation shape. So I'm gonna, now remember the top radius is now the bottom radius. So I'm messing with the top radius. That, and I'm gonna bring the height like that. Let's look at that. I'm gonna make it a little wider on the bottom and pretty. You can either do the height here or just grab this and decrease it. Let's try that. So I'm going to make it a hole. And now what I want to do is line it up. We're going to center them, and I'm going to align it. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to bring this down, just like that. So let's just group it and see how it looks. There. That's not bad. I'm going to make it pink. I actually think that's pretty good. And when you go to print it, I always have to print with supports because you really have this overhanging edge, but it should be pretty good because this is tapered and it's really just like this section that really needs the support, and usually I have to sand it a bit, but that is a plate. You can see I made the rim a lot thinner, but that's something you can play with. Okay, that's your plate. Okay, so the final piece of our dishes set is this little mug. And I'm going to ungroup it to show you what I did. So it consists of this ring and this hole and this cylinder and hole. And I will show you what I did. Okay, so we're gonna do the cylinder. I just have to have it here still. Gonna add a cylinder. First thing I always do is slide this all the way to make it smooth. Okay, so let's see, a mug is usually like 4 inches maybe in diameter. So I'm going to make this to scale like 3.3. I'm going to taper it, so I'm just gonna make the bottom radius like that. And then it should be about 4 inches tall, which is like 0.33. So I think that is good. So now the next step I want to do is add the handle. Actually, I'm going to copy and paste one of these to, I feel like I need it later. So to add the handle, again, we're in the shape generators. And there we go. We want this HD torus. I'm going to make it smooth. Like that. And I'm just adjusting these sliders to make a little kind of a handle shape. Okay, obviously has to be a lot smaller. I hold the shift key down because it won't, it'll keep the dimensions the same. Not the dimensions, the, what do you call it? No. Okay, so I might make it a little fatter. I have to rotate it 90 degrees. And let's line it up with this. So we're going to raise it up using this arrow. Okay, so now here it's where, because if you think about a ceramic mug, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Sometimes they're kind of squishy. So I'm just going to move these to where I like them. Oops, I think I did the wrong one. So I'm making this like shorter, not shorter, like, yeah, I'm gonna make this come in like here. Actually, I think I like that. I'm gonna line this up to look at it. So I want these centered. And I'm gonna raise it up some more. I feel like that's good. Maybe I'll make it like that. I like to, like, this kind of piece, it's like, in real life, it could have just been made by an artist and there's no set rules for the dimensions or anything, so it's really just an eyeballing kind of thing. I might stretch it out a little. Nope, I don't like that. Okay. All right, so this is where I would like the handle to go. Did I center it? Yes, it's centered. So what we want to do is group these two. Okay, so now we have this combined shape. And remember, I had copied this cylinder. I'm going to make this a hole. I'm going to drag it over. I'm going to center. The problem is I can't center it both ways, because if I do that, look, now it centers with the combined shape. So I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to shrink it. Disappeared. I'm going to pull it out. And I'm going to just make sure it's from the top. I'm just going to drag it around. I can always center it this way. And let's see how that looks. Let's group these. And there we go. We have a mug. I hope you found this helpful to get started designing your own things in Tinkercad. I know you could do it, and it's fun. Let me know in the comments how it turned out and what you'd want me to show you next. Thanks for watching.